Hi, I'm Allie. Join me as I show you how to make these cute stacking earrings. We are going to be creating using some Potomac exclusives, and I'm going to show you how you can control your thread path and tension a little bit. So go ahead and gather up your materials that are listed below, and we'll get ready to get started. So to begin, we are using some size 8 dragon thread, and I have a stop bead on the base of a size 10 needle. I'm going to begin at the top of the piece, and we're going to work our way through the middle, and then we're going to come out to the sides as we add on more of the round trios. To begin, we're going to pick up one of our RounDuo Minis, and the RounDuo Minis have 2 holes. Doesn't matter which one you pick up first, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of our 11 OC beads. Let that all drop down to the base of that bead there. And then we're going to reverse the thread, going through hole number 2, taking our needle from the bottom of the bead towards the top of the bead, which is going to be where our stop bead is. That's going to bring those seed beads down there to the end. And we're actually going to grab our wire guard at this point. I have just a gunmetal wire guard here. We're going to go up through one side of the wire guard. Then we're going to come down and go through the other side of the wire guard. The thread is going to hang out in that U channel, which is going to help us for a more professional look as well as durability, so the thread is not going to rub against our ear wire. From here, I want you to bring your thread and needle back down the first side, so the bead right there near that stop bead, and we're going to bring our bead and our needle and thread through the RounDuo Mini as well as the first 11 OC bead. When you're doing this, just make sure that your thread stays in that little U channel of the wire guard. From here, I want you to take your needle and thread and sew through the next 3 seed beads. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to start looking at these as a set of 1 on either side of the RounDuo and 3 that we're sewing through right now that are going to hang out at the top of the round trio for these nesting doll earrings. Go ahead now and grab your first round trio through hole number 1. There are 3 holes in this round trio. We're going to be using hole number 1 and hole number 3. Going through hole number 1, I want you to grab an 11 OC bead after, and I want you to go through on your quad bow here, holes 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to go through hole number 2. As we come out hole number 2, grab one more 11 OC bead and your second of your RounDuo Mini, followed by 1, 2, and 3 more 11 OC beads. Previously, we had grabbed 5 at the top. Now we're grabbing 3, but we're doing that same motion of taking our needle through the second hole of that mini round trio and bringing our needle back up towards the top. This is going to give a series of 3 beads at the bottom, or that little picot trim there. Pick up one more 11 OC bead, and we're going to sew through hole number 3 back up towards our round trio bead. Grab one more 11 OC bead and sew through hole number 3 of our round trio. So we came down through hole number 1, we're going up through hole number 3. As you come out the top of the round trio bead here at hole number 3, I want you to look at that set of 3 seed beads that are kind of laying to the side. Take your needle and thread from the right hand side towards the left, back through those 3 seed beads, which will make those 3 sit right on top of our round trio bead. After exiting through those 3 beads at the top of the round trio, I want you to grab 6 more seed beads, putting them on your needle, and then we are going to sew down through the first hole of our quad bow bead. So we've used hole numbers 2 and 3. Now we're going to use holes number 1 and 4. So coming down there on the same side that your thread is coming out of, and see how that creates a little arch of seed beads. Coming out the bottom here, I want you to do one 11 OC bead followed by another round trio bead. When you go through the round trio bead, you want to go through one of the outer holes, or hole 1 or hole 3. We'll call this hole number 1 since we're going through it first. After this, we're going to grab again 6 seed beads. So 3, 4, 5, and 6. After that 6th bead, you are going to grab another round trio bead. That round trio bead is going to sit here on the base. This round trio bead that sits at the bottom, the holes are going to go horizontally. For the other 3, the holes are vertical. So we are going to go into the middle hole of that round trio bead that's next. After that middle hole of that round trio, go ahead and mimic the other side, picking up 6 11-0 seed beads, 1 of our round trio beads through one of the exterior holes, hole number 1, 1 11-0 seed bead, and then we're going to sew up through the round trio through hole number 4. From here, we need to get back to the top and through those 3 beads again. So we are going to add 6 more seed beads, and then once again through those 3 beads right along the top. This creates that exterior line of beads right along these nesting doll earrings. The open holes at the bottom here, we're going to catch on as we continue in the design and catch on to the interior holes of our center round trios. As the thread exits right here through the top 3 beads, I want you to bring your needle and thread back through that hole number 1 of the round trio, down through the 11-0 seed bead, before the quad bow, through hole number 2, through the quad bow, and out the seed bead right after the hole, not going through the RounDuo Mini. This 11-0 seed bead, we're going to share. So 1 pass of thread, the first one goes through the RounDuo Mini. The second one, we are going to pick up hole number 3 of the round trio that is on the left-hand side. We've already sewed through hole number 1. Now we're going to sew through hole number 3. I'm just making sure here my thread's not twisted along my beads. That's going to bring that round trio into place and just let it hang out there. From here, add 2 11-0 seed beads, and this round trio that's at the bottom, grab hole number 1. Remember, we sewed through the middle one there, and sew through hole number 1. Add 2 more 11-0 seed beads coming out of the round trio, and sew in to that first hole of the round trio that's on the right. Coming out that round trio then, grab onto the 11-0 seed bead that sits right below the quad bow, the quad bow going through there, as well as the 11-0 seed bead after the quad bow, and coming out the top of that round trio, making sure that you're going through that outer right-hand most hole. As you do that, that's going to establish the order in which the holes sit on the round trio here. When you notice the finished product, the only thing that we have to do right now is to add seed beads along the bottom. There's an alternative though. If you don't want to add the seed beads along the bottom, you can go through the top, reinforcing your wire guard, and simply tie off the thread. If you want to continue, we're going to take a trip around this side here. So our thread and needle at the top, coming out that round trio, you're going to sew back in to those 3 seed beads that sit along the top, as well as down the whole left-hand side, going through the 6 seed beads that sit on the exterior of that round trio. Once you go through those, you're also going to go down through that exterior hole of the round trio bead, 11 round trio, and come on out. Once you're through that exterior hole there, we are going to bring our thread and needle down through the 6 seed beads along the left-hand side as well. So going down through these 6 and bringing our thread and needle out. As you exit through those 6 at the bottom, so we've gone through the 6 on the side, come down through the quad bow, gone and traveled down to the 6 at the bottom, and now we're going to add 6 more seed beads and then sew over to the right. Once those 6 seed beads are on your needle and thread, go up through, skipping over the round trio. So the seed beads are just going to hang out at the bottom and the base of it, going through those 6 seed beads along the side, taking your thread and needle through the exterior hole of the round trio bead there, up through the 11-0 seed bead, through the quad bow, through the next 11-0 seed bead, progressing the whole way up to the top here of these 11-0s. And once again, to make it mimic, we're going to go through those 3 seed beads at the top. What that does is just kind of ties it together here. And our thread and needle then is exiting after those 3 seed beads, which is where our thread line goes, to proceed up to the top. We're going to proceed up through the seed bead prior to the RounTrio, or the RounDuo rather, Mini, through the RounDuo Mini, through the wire guard. At this point here, I want you to come down through the other side of the wire guard, reinforcing that top. Take off your stop bead and simply tie those 2 thread ends together. When you're tying the 2 thread ends together, then you have completed your nesting doll earrings. After tying this together, you can, if you want to, take your needle and thread that are still on here, sew back down through that RounDuo bead, that mini RounDuo. Give a little bit of pressure to that, and it pulls the knot towards the interior of the RounDuo Mini. Grab your thread burner, burn down your thread edges. Once you have those burned down, go ahead and burn them flush towards the project, making sure you're not burning any of the thread that's connecting the project together. Grab your ear wires here. Using a plier, needle nose plier, chain nose plier, just making sure that it doesn't have any ridges in the interior. Open it up, sliding to the side, put on your wire guard, and close it up to complete your nesting doll earrings. Thanks so much for joining me in the creation of these nesting doll earrings using some of our exclusives. Remember, if you need to purchase any of them or look and check them out for different color options, go ahead and look below the video in the description. There's a link there to get back to our website. As always, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss anything from us here at Potomac Beads. Thanks so much for joining in, and stay tuned for our next inspirational design.